Good morning, humanity. It's June 28th, 2021, and it's our favorite time of the week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody, my name's Paul.
Oh, you're so cute. Hi, this is Bev. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I don't know. I just love doing Monday shows with
I
you.
know. I know. It's really awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And so today we're going to talk about BioTouch as a breath of fresh air.
Take a breath
Take a
into the
breath.
body.
Yes, and we're going to talk a little bit about the whole breath idea, but we're building on our workshop that we did last week with Kathy Teak,
Teak.
who is
Yeah,
a retired respiratory therapist. And, even though we couldn't see her, she was awesome.
she was awesome.
And we want to share, if you didn't get a chance to practice it, practice with us. She did a exercise to help us see how people who have asthma, emphysema, COPD, what it is they're feeling. And so what she had us do, and I'll just tell it to you because I'm not going to be able to do it and tell you,
Right. I'm not
is
doing it.
is take a deep breath in. Now let out half of that, just half, and then inhale again. And now let out half of that. And now inhale once more and let out half of that. And then
But
relax.
relax.
Relax if you can. Tell
By
us,
that time, I was
yeah,
thinking, oh my God, the stress that.
yeah. Tell us what you experienced with that, because I know for Bev and I, it was like totally anxious,
Yeah,
totally anxious.
definitely. That
Yeah,
was it. Anxiety,
yeah. That
anxiety
your
in my
body just
body.
starts reverberating,
Yeah.
and it just was a great way. It always reminded me too of I always like to tell men, if you want to understand what a pregnant woman's going through, put a big watermelon on your body, lay on the floor and put a watermelon on your belly and try to get up, right?
Oh yeah, good one.
Yeah. So there you go. That was a great thing, and how she talked about how stress is such a trigger
Yeah.
for all these kinds of respiratory diseases and problems that we
Yeah.
have.
Oh,
So
definitely.
she talked about that. She talked about it's an awareness of the total body
Yes,
was
I love
essential.
that.
Yes, that you needed to be aware of everything going on, and she was very much into different kinds of complementary integrative approaches along with the medication. She really felt the medication really stabilized, but if you can work with other kinds of practices, and then we went
Yep.
in and taught biotouch, you
Right.
know, and she even talked about hormone, how a lot of these illnesses are hormonal.
I know. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I mean that was a real good one, and just doing our metabolism set
Yeah.
really seems to,
Help the body a
yes,
lot.
back to
Yeah.
its hormones, and that's an interesting thing because that's the research we did with Dr. Kenneth Stevenson, was that hormonal
Right.
research with blood spot testing, saliva testing, where she found a leveling out of cortisol levels and a raising of interleukin 12 levels. So
Yeah.
everything that Kathy was talking about was
I
just like,
know.
yes, here we are. Let's
Perfect.
teach biotouch, and we're going to teach it again today. We're going to take a little time to show the lung set again. You can't get enough.
Once you get on it, it's like a potato chip. Can't have just one session.
That's good. That's good. So, we're talking about biotouch as a breath of fresh air. What we find a lot of times is there's this aha moment, this as you're working with people and the practitioner, as you were telling me. You do that greeting, and what happens?
You take a big breath into your body.
Yes, it's
That's happened
amazing.
to me many times.
Yes, and with the recipient too, you'll be working with them, and all of a sudden there's this, and it's interesting because just a couple of weeks ago, my acupuncturist was telling me how when you inhale like that or yawn is a sign that the body is really releasing and starting to come into a harmony with itself.
Well, isn't, when you think about and we've said this many times, if you just the greeting set, when you touch, lightly in like point one, and both of you, this is the breath, the breath is called, the breath of life. So this is
Right.
actually when we say that the greeting brings these two people into a relationship and a harmony, and you're both, whew, that's just beautiful,
Yeah,
sacred.
it's not something you have to go get.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's like
breathing is already there.
yes, it's like it's part of our being, and to try and force it and come to it. I mean, I know there's dozens and dozens of breathing exercises, and
Oh yeah,
oh God, I've tried my fair
I
share of it.
know, me too.
But it was funny. I really learned about it when I had a dear friend who was doing these breathing exercises, and all he could say is, "Oh my God, I just get this headache." And I was like,
Whoa,
"Yeah." And yet, BioTouch brings us into a presence. It allows us to wake up, be aware of our breath, not trying to control it, be aware of it. And that, I think, at least what I've seen in the past few decades, that's where healing happens through the
yeah,
awareness.
I totally get it. I agree with you. It's like BioTouch is stimulating what's already present. There's no getting anything. It's just bringing into a point of what we call awareness within the body on how to reuse something or realign something or rebalance something. It's not an outside, event. This is the body becoming aware of what it already has. And then BioTouch helps it to bring it into a wholeness, which is where it wants to be. It's a perfect scenario, and that is when healing takes place.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. And we just had a call from a lady in Bend, Oregon, just up the road from you, and she got it. So
Oh yeah,
you get a message from somebody like that, and you try all these years to get it out that this is simple, anybody can do it. There are no levels. You don't need to have a special breathing exercise, but just to do the technique, just to do the greeting brings you, as we're saying here, a breath of fresh air. It's just,
right.
everything's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. What I really like about her, what she wants to do with BioTouch is she wants to introduce it to her community there and have everybody in the community practice BioTouch as part of their lifestyle. Now, if that
Right,
isn't just totally in accord with the purpose of this foundation,
right,
it's
right,
just wonderful. I hope I get a chance to work with them. I'd like to leave some kind of legacy here in Oregon
right.
before I leave.
Well, what's great too is whatever happens, we've got Zoom now, and we'll be there
I
with her
know.
somehow to help bring
It's
BioTouch to
perfect.
Bend, Oregon.
Yep.
So, we'll bring BioTouch to any one of your communities. Give us a
Right.
call, send us an email, justtouch.com. Go to the website, justtouch.com. Go to justtouch.com, or
It's
if you
just
can't
go
remember
there.
that, go to biotouchhealing.com. It'll take you to the
Right.
same place.
Same
And,
place.
bring BioTouch to your community. Bring a fresh air to your community. We're in some tough times right now, and BioTouch is a breath of fresh air. It's a way in the midst of this very chaotic, very changing time to just sort of relax, be present even for a moment, that everything's going to be okay. And if you build on that, then the body relaxes a little more and the body can start to correct itself. But incorporate BioTouch with your healthcare practice because, it reminds me of a woman I worked on that had emphysema, really bad emphysema. I worked on her at least twice a week. One day I go in for her appointment and she's not there. Well, it turns out she was in the hospital. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like,
I
oh
know.
God, BioTouch doesn't work. What the hell? This is a
I didn't
scam.
do enough.
Yeah. And by the time she came out, it was very interesting. She came out, immediately came back to the center, said, Paul, I couldn't wait to get back. I couldn't wait to get back. I think what BioTouch did is it loosened up all that old stuff inside of me, and I couldn't expel it. And so she needed to call 911. They needed to take her into the emergency care, put a syringe in the lungs to get out all that fluid that was stuck there. And the whole time she's just thinking BioTouch. Couldn't wait to get back. And so even thinking about it helped her cope with that emergency situation.
Yeah.
And it just and then we got back on it, and she never had another problem. She was able to start breathing better over time. And so, it's so vital to use BioTouch, as Kathy had told us, as an adjunct, as an integrative approach to our lung issues.
Definitely.
So
I think that's really cool that this recipient with the emphysema, that BioTouch brought, we're saying this all the time, it encourages the growth of self-awareness. In her self-awareness, she realized she was in a crisis and needed to go to the doctor. But, she already got that. BioTouch is integrative. And so that's a lovely story. Yeah, like it.
So we can only encourage you, reach out and touch someone. We're going to show you the lung set again because we just can't get enough of it. I mean, the other thing that this woman in Bend, Oregon really liked was the fact that it's so accessible.
Yeah.
We just, in a sense, give it away. I mean, we have minimal charges if you want to take the class, if you need continuing education credits for massage therapists, nurses, doulas. We do workshops. But really, our website, you could learn the whole technique for free. It doesn't have to cost you anything.
You know what? This whole foundation really knows that BioTouch belongs to everybody. It doesn't belong to us. We're just the custodians of getting it out there. That's why we do these shows. That's why we do the trainings. That's what we're here to do. But humanity's gift is that, BioTouch is for them already. So it doesn't belong to us. It belongs to you. Yes. We're just here to get it to you.
It to you.
Yeah.
So a lot of you out there might be watching this, might be listening to this as a podcast. And so hopefully you'll all practice even as you hear these points, because hopefully, and I think I've seen it, that the descriptions are easy to do, even if you're teaching someone over a telephone. So if you get this on a podcast, let us know how it works for you, and just follow the words or watch where they're touching the points as we learn how to work with the lung set and also that oxygen control point to help the pulse ox numbers go up a little bit, especially in an emergency situation. So let's check it out.
The lung set may be used to address any conditions affecting the lungs. The lung set has 3 steps. To begin step 1, hold at X, which is in the notch at the top of the breastbone. With the other hand, touch points 1 through 6. Point 1 is on the rib cage where the ribs begin to curve to the side and are not quite at the bottom of the ribs. Point 2 is on the rib cage where the ribs begin to curve to the side and are even with the bottom of the breast. The location of point 2 may vary according to the size of the breasts and the accessibility of the area. Point 3 is even with the top of the armpit and about 2 to 3 inches toward the center of the chest. Point 4 is the same as point 1 on the opposite side of the body, on the rib cage where the ribs begin to curve to the side and are not quite at the bottom of the ribs. Point 5 is the same as point 2 on the other side of the body, on the rib cage where the ribs begin to curve to the side and are even with the bottom of the breast. And point 6 is the same as point 3 on the other side, even with the top of the armpit and about 2 to 3 inches in toward the center of the chest. As with any set, the recipient may choose to either sit up or lie down. Step 2 is performed with the hands in the butterfly position. Without touching the hands together, bring the thumbs close together at the breastbone and with the entire surface of each hand Wrap around and encase the ribs covering points 1 and 4. Then points 2 and 5. And finally, place the fingertips underneath the armpits and again wrap the hands around the rib cage covering points 3 and 6. For step 3, use the first 2 fingers of each hand and touch in matching fire at points 1 and 4, then 2 and 5, and 3 and 6. This completes the lung set. The oxygen control point can be used to enhance the body's assimilation of oxygen from the atmosphere. This set of points may be used along with the lung set, or can be used by itself. To perform this set, hold at greeting point 1. With the other hand, touch the oxygen control point, which is in the triangle formed by the side of the neck, the collarbone, and the top of the shoulder muscle. This point is only on the left side of the body, and it may be touched repeatedly.
There you go. Only took, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
3
I
minutes.
think we're all worth 3 minutes a day.
3 minutes, folks. That's all it takes. Of course, then you have to do the greeting. That's another 30 seconds.
Ooh, okay, I don't know.
It doesn't get much easier. It doesn't get much easier to bring a breath of fresh air to our life.
Oh, yeah.
So we have other ways to learn how to do it. One of those is our class coming up tomorrow. So if you still haven't signed up, there's still an opportunity. That's tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 4:30 Arizona time. Go to our website. Put your little phone up there, that QR code. It'll take you right to the sign-up page. And if you're a massage therapist, doula, or nurse, you can get CE credits for it too. And then our next health condition workshop with our very own Amy Glog. She's going to talk about eating disorders and especially things like anorexia and bulimia,
Right.
and talk a lot about her issues she had with eating disorders and how she's helped herself. What are some of the issues behind it? And how can BioTouch be of help in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, it's simple. And we hope that you will take this gift and bring it into your family.
Yeah.
Bring it to your friends. Bring some fresh air into a situation that could seem chaotic. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a great little thing.
It
Great little
was.
thing. Great little ditty day. And we love Mondays with Bev and Paul. We hope you love it. Thank you for allowing us into your home, onto your computer. If you have anything that you would like us to discuss on Mondays with Bev and Paul, hey, just send us an email, office@justtouch.com, and we'll tackle it. You know, we love to talk, and more important, we love to pass on BioTouch.
Right.
So we're going to share with you again Horace Barnes' little song that he gave to us. And until next week, thank you, everyone.
Have a lovely week.
If pain has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love into action. If you ever want to have any real satisfaction, choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand the healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.